Welcome one and all, I'm Alexis, aka The Sloth Reader, and I'm here today to do another Top 5 Wednesday video. Top 5 Wednesday is hosted by Thoughts on Tome, so I will leave her channel as well as the Goodreads group where we post all the topics and links and such down below. This week's topic is nostalgia book boyfriends. So these are basically book boyfriends that you had, you know, when you first started reading or you first joined BookNet. So I have 5 books here that all feature love interests that I swooned heavily over. Probably when I was in middle school or when I was like early high school. So when I was like 14, so like 10 years ago. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mention all of these books too are books I really want to reread. So I may be doing that and rereading some books soon and falling in love with these lads all over again. The first one I'm going to mention is Jessie from the Mediator series by Meg Cabot. In this series, our main character, Suze, is actually a medium, so she actually speaks to ghosts, and this series basically follows her as she is helping these ghosts to move on. And Jessie is actually the ghost that haunts her house. And so through the course of the series, she's trying to help Jessie move on, and she's learning more about what happened to Jessie and what's preventing him from moving on. And of course they fall in love, and Jessie is like so sweet, and he's such a gentleman, and he like always wants to try and protect Suze, but he can't, and also Suze doesn't need him to protect her. But I just like, I haven't read the series in a very long time, but I just remember being in love with Jessie and just thinking he was absolutely perfect. The next one I'm going to mention is Reuben from Tithe by Holly Black. Reuben is the love interest for our main character Kay, and he is a fairy that Kay kind of meets under hilarious circumstances, and they fall in love and fight to protect the fairy kingdoms. And I don't remember a ton about this character, but I remember loving him, and he's kind of a really snarky, like, he can be a jerk sometimes, but I like that he's like a warrior at heart, and I just remember thinking he was so cool and he was so badass, and I loved him and Kay together, and I just thought he was dreamy. The next one on my list is actually another fae I'm going to mention, and that is Ash from the Iron Fae series by Julie Kagawa. And Ash is actually the prince of the Winter Court in the series, and our main character Meg is the daughter of the Summer Court, and basically they have to band together to save the fairy lands. Ash is like an ice prince. When you first meet him, he's cold, and you know, he doesn't have any interest in befriending Meg, and he's like not interested in helping her, but like over the course of the series you see him like totally thaw for her, and I just remembered thinking again that he was so cool, but he also is really regal, and like over the course of the series he's so sassy, especially when it comes to another character in the series. And I just remember like thinking he was such a beautiful prince. I was totally in love with him when I was like 14. He was like a dreamboat to me then. The next one I'm going to mention is Dimitri from the Vampire Academy series by Rochelle Mead. In this series we follow our main character Rose, who is a Dhampir, so she is training to protect her best friend who is a vampire from stronger, scarier vampires. And Dimitri is actually her teacher in this series. He is actually the guy who is assigned to train Rose in like physical combat and into being a guardian. And of course they fall in love, and it's like a big deal because he's her teacher. I just love Dimitri, and just the love he has for Rose, and like the things that he says to her, and like some of the things that his character struggles with throughout the series is just so like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just like my heart always felt for his character. You know, every new book, I fell more in love with his character and the things that he went through and the strength he had to overcome these things, and even the moments when it seemed like he couldn't overcome them. And I think he's such a great character, and I think he's a great love interest, and I always just was in love with him. The last character I'm gonna mention is a character I still 100% will dedicate my life to because I think he's perfect. And that is Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This is one of my favorite books. I'm very vocal about how much I love this book and how much I really love both Elizabeth and Darcy as characters and together. But I just love Darcy because he spends this entire book trying to be stoic and cold, while all the whole time being so, like, stupidly in love with Elizabeth. And like, he's so awkward because he can't really express himself, which is so evident throughout this book. And he has such a streak of like, things have happened to him, and so he's so guarded because of them, and he's trying to like protect all the people he loves. And like, he's not a perfect character, but in the same breath neither is Elizabeth, and that's why they're so perfect for each other, because they're so ridiculous. And I just think he's so swoony, and I love Mr. Darcy so much, and I love him and Elizabeth together, and I will OTP that until I am in my grave. Alrighty guys, so those are some book boyfriends that I am nostalgic for. Again, I haven't read most of these series in like 9 or 10 years, so definitely if I reread them now my opinions could change, but this is the list as if 14-year-old me were making the list. So, there you go. I would absolutely love to know what were you guys' first book boyfriends or book girlfriends. I upload videos Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I'll see you guys soon with another one.